Wait just a second here. It's not even Saturday. What is this thing even on? Who turned this thing on? What's going on here? Why is this even on? Just kidding. Basically, what I wanted to come live and share with you today is that you've probably noticed possibly that YouTube has updated their app. And because of that, I wanted to bring some things to your attention about that and put the highlight on the something that's very important that you need to make sure that you're keeping in mind when it comes to your YouTube channel and how it relates to the new YouTube app. Now, in addition to that, I also want to let you guys know, and this is not sponsored in any way, shape, or form. This stream is just a free for all live stream, impromptu. I was sitting around and I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm just going to go live and talk about this today. But basically, you know, we're all waiting for election stuff. Vid Summit is coming up tomorrow. So, you know, since we don't get a chance to hang out in person, for anybody that was, you know, planning to go to Vid Summit in person, you know, I figured, hey, you know, we can at least hang out here a little bit unofficially, right? So I figured we'd hang out here a little bit. And I've got a link to Vid Summit down in the description, by the way. It's basically a YouTube conference. I've done a presentation for it. You definitely want to see that presentation, but also like Mr. Beast, Brian G. Johnson, Sean and Benji from Video Influencers, basically all the content creators that you know, watch and appreciate and you like enjoy their channels and the information they share and all that good stuff. Vid Summit is basically their education all wrapped into one package. Daryl leaves as well. It's actually his conference, but it's a fantastic event. It was a game changer for me. I'm sure if you've been following the channel for a while, you're already familiar with Vid Summit, but I've got a link to that down in the description below so that you can check that out. And the whole thing starts tomorrow. It's a virtual event. But again, this is not sponsored by that in any way, shape, or form. I'm just mentioning it because it's an awesome conference that you need to know about. You should know about. So really quick, I didn't expect to get any like channel members or anything today, but
welcome to the Nimmin.
There we go. So let's see here. That was RKFUPS4. Welcome to the Nimmin. Make sure next time you're on Facebook, you look for Nimmin VIP. That is our members only Facebook group. So the very first thing that I want to bring to everyone's attention is if you have the YouTube app, if you are on your phone, then obviously you're not going to be able to do this because you're watching the stream. But if you are on your desktop computer, you're on a laptop or something, you're somewhere to where you can have another device, be it a tablet or, you know, a phone. I want you to follow along with me today in what I'm getting ready to show you here, because I want you to see for yourself, because you're going to see it on my screen. You're going to see me navigate it. You're going to see me talk about it. But I want you to do what I'm getting ready to show you. I want you to do that on your channel so that you can see exactly how this displays on your end. So the very first thing, and really quick, let me give some shout outs here. My E-Class and Bites, what is going on? Nice to see you in here. Christine Cortez, Briones, nice to see you here. Kid Max, what's up? Nice to see you. Paul Peck Drywall 2, what is up? Faith Vista in the house. The Nurse Flipper, what is going on? Blue Eyed Tech, I think was the first comment that I seen come in today. What's up, dude? Nice to see you. J-Man Gamer, what is up? Nice to see you here as well. Thank you for the super chat. Ping Pong Masters, what's up? So basically, as a YouTube content creator, one of the things that you always hear me talking about on YouTube is making sure that you have everything optimized properly so that it's really easy for people to understand the specific value that you bring from your YouTube channel so that they can know that your channel is for them. Now, of course, they're going to run into that typically from your video content, right? They're going to typically run into that because they're going to be looking around YouTube for stuff, or they're going to log into YouTube and your stuff is just going to hop up on their homepage. And because of that, you know, your videos are going to do a lot of the job of actually most of the job of bringing viewers in for you. But one of the things that I'm a really big fan of is trying to create as many advantages for yourself as humanly possible when it comes to YouTube. And because of that, I'm a huge advocate for making sure that your channel is set up properly and that your channel is optimized to do a couple of things. One of those things is to make it easy for people to find more of your content. But another one of those things is to make it crystal clear what it is that you offer on your YouTube channel. And this just got even more important. And I want to share that with you today. So if you're just joining us, basically YouTube had an app update. It's not like, you know, this huge, you know, it's not like, oh God, this is going to like, you know, whatever, but it's something that you need to know about, right? So we're going to be talking about that. I also wanted to, you know, like I said, if you're just joining us, I just wanted to hang out a little bit, you know, for maybe like an hour or so, just hang out a little bit before Vid Summit, which starts tomorrow, so that, you know, since we're not doing it in person, that you know, that we can still, you know, hang out with other content creators and all that stuff, kind of in the spirit of Vid Summit. So with that out of the way, and I've got a link to Vid Summit down in the description below, by the way, and I might actually invite some other content creators on here as well. But this isn't going to be a typical, Nimmin live stream. This is going to be, a much shorter experience today. But, I just wanted to, just spend some time hanging out. So the thing that I wanted to bring to your attention on the YouTube side, like when it comes to the actual YouTube app itself, and let me switch screens here. Let me turn this thing on so I can pop up here in the corner. There we go. So if you are on your YouTube channel, oh, and by the way, make sure Daryl is also doing a Vid Summit preview, the Vid Summit Worldwide preview. He's doing that. It's actually going live my local time at 1 a.m. So you're going to have to actually go to Daryl's channel, daryleves.com, and you're going to see that on, the actual time zone, how it relates to you in that situation. But make sure that you go ahead and you subscribe over there so that you can be notified as that thing unwinds as well. So Construction Crony says, hey, Vid Summit, I haven't heard or I haven't seen or heard anything about it this year. I thought that it was canceled. Is it virtual? Absolutely, it's virtual. It's absolutely virtual. But here's the thing is it's worldwide. Right. So basically, presenters all over the world, which made it a lot more accessible for everybody to be able to present. And it also made it it's making it a lot more accessible for people to actually, get the information from it as well, which is huge. But basically, we printed up like the backdrops and everything. Like, I had a local shop print up like a big, huge backdrop. And, we actually set it up, at a location, had some people come, and it was me here locally. It was me that did my presentation, and my presentation is on how to create a rock solid YouTube channel. And I know a lot of you content creators that are watching this, some people here have a lot of experience, but there's also other people here that don't have a lot of experience. But the thing with my presentation is it speaks to both. So if you're somebody that has a lot of experience, it actually talks to you. My presentation talks to you about how to make sure that you can ride that experience into the future by having a rock solid, sustainable YouTube channel. And if you're just getting started, it's about the foundations that you need to make sure that you're building when it comes to having a nice, sustainable YouTube channel that you can count on for some time to come into the future. So, again, a link to that's down in the description below. But also Jesse Davis, who lives in Bangkok, he also has a YouTube channel, Brianna's Secret Club. And their YouTube channel, he's actually got a whole slew of channels, but one of them has over 5 million subscribers on it. Another one has 1 million subscribers on it. And he's got several of them with over 100,000. But he's also, he also presented at the same one that I did, talking about, his experience with that and how he's able to, the approach that he takes in order to be able to, crank out high performing channels, kind of like a factory. So it's definitely something that you want to check out, both of ours. But in addition to that, tons of amazing knowledge is always shared at Vid Summit. So you want to make sure that you are, on the inside of that knowledge. So basically, to continue on with the YouTube app. So if I pull this up on my screen, one of the things that you'll see, and I'll actually use one of the Think Marketing videos here as an example, and I hope the audio doesn't come through. There we go. But basically, if you scroll down, this is one of the things that I wanted to bring to your attention, is if you scroll down, you are going to see that you're going to see the comments just like you always would, right? But with the new app update, check this out. If I tap on one of the profile pictures, you see this thing that pops up here. So one of the things that I wanted to bring to your attention is, one, when you are interactive on a YouTube channel and you are one of the people that, let's say that you're really into YouTube and you're like, hey, I want to, make sure that I am, actively commenting and things like that. This actually shows some history. So you can see here in this situation that Homie Hector, that on this particular video here, they've left 3 comments on this channel. They received 1 heart, which is pretty cool. And they even make it to where you can reference the other comments on the channel, which is really, really cool. So like if you're really active in, somebody's community, this brings that to somebody's attention. Now you'll also see, if you look at the channel art, Homie Hector is actually, he's focused on his name in this situation. But one of the things that we have to consider is that we are, that we're optimizing for this sort of thing. Now, if I take this, and let's hope it doesn't lock. Whoa. If we take this and we do that again, let me scroll down, and it's a little bit different on the phone. It actually shows, more information on the phone, but you can see here in this situation on her channel, you can see here that you see art, collage, and lifestyle there, handmade by her, but art, collage, and lifestyle. So one of the things that I wanted to bring this to your attention for is because when you are interacting, because I know a lot of you, especially, this is why I wanted to do this in a live stream and not just make a video about it, because a lot of you especially are extremely active in YouTube. You're active in live streams, you're active in comment sections and things like that. And because of that, there's a lot of people that are clicking on your, channel name and trying to figure out what it is that you do and things like that. And just passing, while they're participating in the live stream, it's like, hey, who's this person? Who's this person? And one of the really cool things about this is it gives you the opportunity to be crystal clear about what it is that you're offering on your YouTube channel. So while you're active on the platform and you're just using YouTube like you normally would, when you optimize for this, what you're doing is you're giving yourself the chance to actually attract other people that are directly into what it is that you're doing. So here's what you want to do. You want to figure out, if you haven't done this already, like you need to do it anyway, but you basically want to take your YouTube channel and you want to say, how can I condense the value that I offer on my YouTube channel down into a sentence? Right? Or just a few words. And the reason that you want to do that is because, one, that would be your value proposition in terms of the value that you are offering the viewers, right? And then you also want to do that because it helps you be able to describe your channel in an efficient way so that it's easy to understand what it is that you offer. So in this particular situation, you would be able to take that value proposition and you'd be able to apply it to your channel art so that when people are clicking on those or on your profile picture so that they can see, more of, what it is that everybody's doing, then in that situation, they're going to be able to see at a glance exactly what it is that you offer on your YouTube channel. So make sure that you take the time to do this. And the reason I wanted you to follow along is because and if you're just joining us, I mentioned earlier, like following along, with actually going and doing that with your own YouTube channel so that you can see exactly what your channel looks like in this particular situation, because you want to make sure that you're optimized for this. Okay. And again, this is one of those things, it's not going to be like a game changer for your channel, but it's one of those things that, especially if you're really active on YouTube, if you're not active on YouTube, if you don't leave comments all over the place, and if you're not active in live streams and things like that, not a big deal. Right? Not a big deal. It doesn't even matter. I mean, it does matter because, you still want people when they land on your channel page to understand what's going on. But if you are active, this thing that I just showed you becomes even more important. Right? Now, another thing that you want to think of is a lot of people, just like one of the examples that I just showed, actually, hey, Vigard, what's up, man? One of the examples that I just showed, she basically just said, like art and lifestyle and like something else, right? Which is okay, because that's better than nothing. That's better than just a big channel name, right? But what you want to do is you want to think, okay, if somebody were to see this, if somebody were to see my channel art in this particular scenario, how could I explain to them in just a few words exactly the benefit that they would get from watching my content? Or how would I be able to explain to them exactly what it is that I do? Right? So let's say, for example, if you are, processing, if you're teaching people about audio, then in that situation, it could be, helping you create better audio, or helping you understand audio, or whatever angle of audio it is that you take. But by taking that approach, what you're doing is you are just giving yourself that opportunity to optimize for it, just a little bit better. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention. Now, with that out of the way, there's some other changes in there as well in terms of, the descriptions slide up now instead of, sliding down on a mobile device. They've changed the UI in terms of how some certain things look. But the really important thing that I wanted to focus you on, because it actually shows up in different places on YouTube, was making sure that you optimize your channel art. Now, if you can't do that yourself, like if you don't know how, or you just don't have the tech in terms of you don't have Photoshop, or you don't have, anything to actually make the graphics yourself, you can get this stuff done on like Fiverr for like $5. Right. And there's actually places on Reddit, reddit.com, to where you can actually go and people will do things for free as well, or super cheap. But, in some of those cases, sometimes you get what you pay for. So just be, mindful of, of that type of thing. So really quick, because another thing that I want to do here today is, while we're hanging out, I figured since we're hanging out, since we're talking about YouTube, I'm going to, answer some questions as usual, just like I normally do when I'm live. So instead of the normal situation that we have on Nimmin Live, which will be Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern, instead of that situation, hold on, my Mac is about to die here. There we go. Instead of that situation, I'm just going to be pulling them straight out of the comments. So if you're hanging out and you are, and you have like a specific question, I'm just going to be randomizing them just right out of the comment section. So we're going to be doing that right here in a second. But first, I'm going to drop this in here and invite some people in, because since we're hanging out, let's see if anybody is available. I don't even know, because this was just impromptu, no plan. So let's see here. Now, if anyone wants to hang, bing. There we go. Okay, so just drop that in there. So when it comes to YouTube and your YouTube channel, if you have any questions about what it is that you're doing, hey, really quick, Believing in the Magic said that your hoodie looks super cozy and Save with the Workroom. This thing is incredible. So StreamYard just sent this to me. They sent me this. They sent me a coffee cup. I'm actually using StreamYard right now to stream this. And they've also got like the color back here, but like the softness of this it's awesome. And this coffee cup is huge. I don't know if you can see how big this is, but it's huge in comparison to just like regular coffee cups. Perfect for live streaming. Okay, so let's see here really quick. I'm going to answer the super chat that just came in here.
Super chat
says, not but almost at 11,000 subscribers because of some of your tips. High five and fist bump to you. Spilling tea with JB. Nice work. 11,000 subscribers. That's a ton of people. If you can get 11,000 subscribers, and you know what, if you can get 100 subscribers, you can get 100,000 subscribers, right? Because if you can get 100 people to enjoy what it is that you do enough to subscribe, then you can amplify that. And you can just keep going to, 100,000, 1 million subscribers. The only difference is the amount of time between, and the content that you have to make between now and when that, comes to fruition, so to speak. But yeah, congratulations to you, 11,000. It's a lot of people. So you've gotten a lot of views in order to get you to 11,000 subscribers. So nice work. And the Jones Collective said they just hit 106 yesterday. High five and fist bump to you. So in your situation, if you haven't yet, make sure for you that just hit 106, the Jones Collective, if you haven't yet, make sure that you get your custom URL or your custom name so that when people go to youtube.com/your channel name, it goes directly to your YouTube channel instead of having those like random, strings of numbers and characters and all that good stuff for your YouTube channel. So let's see here. How can I increase my watch hour? Great way to increase your watch hour is watch the last video that I published. Basically, when you are trying to increase the amount of watch time that you're getting on your YouTube channel, one of the great ways to do that is to make it easy for people to find more of your content. So of course, you have to make content that's good enough for people to watch for a fair amount of time, because then that's going to add to your watch time or your watch hours. But you also want to make it easy for the people that do enjoy your content to find more of your content. So because of that, you want to make sure that you're using your pinned comments, which is basically where you leave a comment and then you put a link. Hey, if you enjoyed this video, I've got a whole playlist full of, videos just like this here. Or, hey, if you liked this, then, check out this video next. And then you put a link to that. And then over on the right-hand side, you're going to see a 3-dot menu. And if you click on that, you're going to see the option to pin a comment. So all you got to do is pin that comment. And then you've taken that video watch page that had, maybe you had an end screen in there that would be linking to another video, but then you just added another link there. You can also add them in your video description as well, under the see more or above the see more. And the same idea with that is that you're just adding more to that page, more options on that page. In addition to anything of yours that YouTube might suggest, you're adding more options to your channel or to your video watch page where people can click on and go watch more of your content, which is what you're wanting to do. And this works for the people that enjoy your content. That's the key. Because if you're making content and people aren't digging what it is that you're doing yet, and I say yet because if you're not getting the results that you're after yet, it's just a matter of time, right? It's just a matter of time because you're in the process now developing the skills, developing, that community that you're trying to build and trying to get an understanding of how all this stuff works, and you'll get there. But in the meantime, you just have to make sure that you are putting all these things in place. So as you are creating your video library, it's easy for people as your channel grows to be able to find more and more of your content a lot easier. Beanie Draws, what's up, dude? Hope you're doing fantastic. Playing with Michelle. Hope that you are also doing great. Hope everybody's doing awesome. What about this? What about the stall on the vote? Holy moly. Crazy. Whew. Talk about that for a second. That's nuts, man. I figured we'd know by now. Whew. All right. So if you are just joining us, says, how do you stop yourself constantly? Just missed it. Constantly and obsessively checking your figures, especially with a new channel. Okay, Debbie, that's a fantastic question. Basically, the question is from Debbie, how do you not obsess over your numbers? How are you not in your YouTube app, every 10 minutes looking like, hey, did I get any more views? Did I get more subscribers? Did I get any more likes on my stuff? Like, how do you keep yourself from doing that? The way that you do that is I'm addicted as well. So I check more than I should. So take this advice with a grain of salt. But the way that you do that is you just understand that after you publish a video, from that point in time, after the video is up, after all of your videos are up on your channel, that you're just watching the result of something that you've already done. So just paying attention to it, several times a day isn't going to create any benefit for you, where you could be spending that time working on additional content, working on watching videos on how to make better thumbnails, watching videos from Charisma on Command, the YouTube channel Charisma on Command, on how to present better, and how to, develop that charisma with your audience, watching or reading copywriting blogs so that you can write better titles, that sort of thing. So instead of, sitting there digging in your stats all the time, you can be doing that kind of stuff. And then just give yourself once a day, once every, couple of days. I would still do once a day, just in case you have something taking off, so you can, react at that point in time. So I would at least check it once a day. But in terms of like deep diving and like really digging in deep and spending, some real time in your analytics, I recommend that you do that once a month, once every couple of weeks, just so that you can make sure that you have a good handle on what is going on in your YouTube channel, what's important to your viewers, and all of that, because that ultimately is going to be the thing that will, help you move, forward the most.
Super Chat.
The Jones Collective, welcome to the Nimminati. I hit the wrong button.
Welcome to the Nimminati.
Make sure next time you're on Facebook, you look for Nimminati VIP. That is our members only Facebook group, and I will see you there. Make sure you fill out all the questions on the way in. Retired working from home, what's up, my man? I hope that you are doing fantastic. Looking forward to grabbing coffee with you sometime here in the near future, if possible, which I think it is going to be. Like if you're coming this way. If not, hopefully I'll run into you down there sometime. But I think you're coming this way. I'm not sure. That was the conversation anyway. Sally Bebb says, hey, Nick, is a monetized channel. I'm a monetized channel, but my watch time is not doing well. Is there any chance that I'm going to be demonetized soon? So basically, when it comes to the requirements for YouTube, you have to have 1,000 subscribers, 4,000 hours of watch time, and a 360-day cycle. So what that means is if you, this time last year, from this day last year until today of this year, you have to have that time, right? And if you start approaching that 1 year period and you don't have that time, then you can, or the subscribers, then you can lose that monetization on your channel because you no longer reach the requirements. So because of that, yes, you definitely do need to, remain active and all that good stuff to make sure that you are, that you stay compliant, I guess I should say, with their rules.
Super Chat.
White Noise Studio, thanks my man for the super chat, says, hey, Nick, subtitles. Do you have any data on the influence of subtitles, even in the video's language, on the video performance, findability, etc.? So I don't know the exact numbers off the top of my head, but using captions on your videos is proven to keep people watching for a longer period of time. And it's also proven if people can read the subtitles, if they choose to, while they are watching the content, it's also proven to increase comprehension. So if you are sharing informational type content, or not informational, but like educational or informational type content, to where it's really important that people actually leave with, like a takeaway, then in that situation, you definitely want to make sure that you're using them for the comprehension side, but also, for the, for the extended retention as well. However, another thing that is important when it comes to captions is that, like, if we take that side out of it, and again, I don't know the numbers off the top of my head, but it's definitely an increase. But when it comes to the captions on a video, the reason that I put them on every single video that I put out, I actually can't right now, my Nimmin Live clips, which I will, but I'm actually locked out of that channel at this moment. So I'm not completely locked out. I still have management access, but something happened when I was setting up the channel. And I've even went through, because with my current channel, of course, I can just reach out to YouTube and be like, hey, what's going on? But even with that, they're still like, hey, we can't help. You're just going to have to wait the process out and then they'll get back to you, blah, blah, blah. But basically with that channel, it's like, hey, we can't verify this is you. And they locked me out. So luckily, anytime I set up a new channel, I give myself like management access from a few different channels and things like that to safeguard against things like this. But unfortunately, I can't add captions to that one at this moment in time. But on this channel, you'll see that I add captions to every single piece of video content. And the reason for that is accessibility, because I want to make it easy for people to consume my content and understand it, regardless of, if they have hearing impairments, but also however they like to consume content. Because some people, like for example, I know some people, I'm using this exact reference because my brother said that this is what he does, and I know I do it every now and then as well. Some people will be like laying in bed watching YouTube next to, their significant other, and their significant other is asleep. And because of that, they're like, hey, elbows, right? Let's turn the volume off. I'm trying to sleep, jerk, right? And during that time, then you can turn the volume down, and then somebody would be able to just watch it there. Another scenario is, let's say somebody likes to, learn stuff on the way to their job, and they take a public transportation, or they take an Uber or something like that, where they can just sit there and stare at their phone. They choose to spend that time watching YouTube. I want to make sure that that person can also consume my content and fully be able to comprehend it in any possible way that they prefer to do it. So in terms of data, yes, it's effective and it's helpful. And in terms of just making it a better experience for the people that choose to consume your content that way, it's also an advantage. And also with that, there's also the community of hard of hearing people who also appreciate that. I actually have, from time to time, there'll be these things that happen to where people will be like, hey, these channels don't, they don't make it easy for, for hard of hearing people and all this stuff. And they'll actually list me in there, like, hey, go watch this guy. He's one of the people that actually make it easy for, hard of hearing people to, consume his content as well, or just completely deaf people to consume his content as well. So a bunch of different advantages to it. So, because of that, I definitely recommend that you use captions. All right, next one here that we got, Gleb, my man. I hope that you are doing fantastic. Say, hey, what's up next? What are the top 5 things to keep in mind when first starting your YouTube channel? So Gleb, you can just hit me up on Facebook. We can just go meet for coffee, and I can hook you up there. But in terms of the first 5 things that you need to keep in mind, very first is it's really important to know what it is that you want to get out of your YouTube channel. Some people will start a YouTube channel based on, passion alone, like, hey, this is just what I'm into, which is cool. But it's also advantageous for the long game when you do have some type of goal attached to it that is not based on like views and subscriber counts, to where it's like, hey, I'm trying to make an impact in this community, or I'm trying to position myself in this particular way, or I'm trying to, become a well-known person in this particular space, right? Or I'm trying to generate X amount of income, or X amount of influence, or I want to be known for this thing, or whatever it happens to be. But knowing what it is that you want to get out of it is really important. Another thing is knowing who it is that you're making your content for, because when you know who it is that you're making your content for, that helps you cater everything it is that you do. Your music choices, what your set looks like, the things that you say in your videos specifically. I actually had a conversation with Ian Corzine yesterday. He's a social media lawyer. We did a video for his channel. And in that conversation, one of the things that I was telling him is that when you know who it is that you're making content for, it helps guide exactly what it is that you should be doing. So for example, the example that I like to give on my YouTube channel is and I use mine because you watch me, is that when you are looking at my YouTube channel, you're going to see that I say YouTube and YouTubers a lot in almost every piece of content unless it's software-based. If it's software-based, then I'll mention the name of the software. And the reason for those things is because when my videos show up on YouTube's homepage or next to another videos, if they get suggested there, then in that situation, if you're a YouTuber and you've never seen me before, you don't know anything about me, I want the words YouTube and YouTuber to grab your attention, and then you know that that's for you. And then you click on it, you come in, and then you're like, hey, who's this weirdo wearing a black hoodie while he's live streaming here talking about the YouTube mobile app. And if you're just joining us, basically what you want to do, the YouTube mobile app had an update. For some people, apparently, like, it's been out for a little bit, but it's just hitting the internet right now in terms of, a lot of people like, hey, I like this, I don't like this, and this sort of thing. But basically they have it now to where if somebody goes down into the comment section, if you're on your phone, you can see this right now. And I'm not sure if it works in live, actually. So if somebody wants to check that out in live, that would be cool. But basically, when it comes to comments under videos, if you click on that, there's actually a whole card that pops up now, and your channel art's displayed there, your activity on the channel is displayed there. And the cool thing with that is, one, it's like a community thing, which is great. But two, it's also something that you can leverage for clarity of what your channel is about. So when people are clicking around YouTube and they click on your channel name, then they're going to be able to see that card pop up, or your profile pic. They're going to be able to see that card pop up and have, more context to what it is that you do. And you can pick up some fans that way. So that's more for the people that are really active on YouTube. But if you're not that active on YouTube, then in that case, you still want to do it so that it's clear when somebody lands on your channel page, but it's not, as big of a deal if you are, if you're not that active on YouTube. But let's see, I kind of lost you. I kind of went off track there, Gleb. Sorry. So yeah, so basically your goal, your audience. Once you know your goal and your audience, it's important to make sure that you are pacing yourself. So it's really easy as a content creator, and give me a hashtag yes if you can relate to this. It's really easy as a content creator because you enjoy making videos, you enjoy the process of making content and getting it out there and building a community and all that good stuff. So it's really easy to go as hard as possible and make tons of content and do all that stuff and just put tons of time into it. But it's also a really good idea to pace yourself because in most cases, almost all, it's a long game for people. So what typically happens, somebody will come onto the platform, they'll start making videos. Some people will start lifting off, relatively quickly. Some people, it might take them, quite a bit of time to get all the skills and, understanding necessary in order for their channel or just to make that right video in order to, start giving their channel like a serious lift and picking up serious momentum. So because of that, making sure that you pace yourself is really important. The next thing, of course, as part of that process is education. Make sure if you're starting a YouTube channel, make sure that you are understanding what it is that you're getting into. So, for example, YouTube Creator Academy is 100% free and provided by YouTube. Every person that's watching this live stream right now, you should be going through the YouTube Creator Academy if you haven't yet. And the reason for that is it's kind of like an instruction manual for YouTube. It tells you things like when you're writing out your titles, make sure that you put the thing that's most important towards the front of the title. When I say it in a live stream and people aren't familiar with the YouTube Creator Academy, they're like, oh, never even thought about that. But if you just go through the YouTube Creator Academy, then you have that information on tap as well. So it just tells you tons of great information about YouTube and how their stuff works and what it is that they actually expect from you as a content creator and just the best practices for YouTube. And when it comes to education as well, there's also other things. Like, for example, I have a link to Vid Summit down in the description below. And when it comes to Vid Summit, that's a conference that's starting tomorrow, a virtual conference, and it's all about YouTube and online video. So in that particular situation, it's like, hey, this is something that I can invest in, that I can that'll help me create a deeper understanding with my YouTube channel because it costs money. It's not free, but it'll help me create a deeper understanding for what it is that I'm doing on YouTube so that I can increase my chances of success here on the platform. So if you're like really dedicated and you're really wanting to get results, then, Vid Summit would be a great solution for that. But at the very least, you got to make sure that you are, educating yourself through things like the YouTube Creator Academy. And you're already watching my videos, so I won't even say that one, but, YouTube Creator Academy. And then, of course, the other thing is to take it seriously, but just remember to have a good time, right? Because, it's really easy to, start, being like so serious and so analytical about everything that it kind of puts a little cloud over it a little bit if you're not into that sort of thing. And because of that, it can kind of take away from some of the fun because instead of creating and trying to make something awesome for a viewer, you get caught up in, like, oh, hey, how do I do this with the algorithm and what happens if I do this and this, and it can start kind of taking away from some of the creative aspects of it. So just remember to do that stuff, but also remember to have a good time because, when people are starting YouTube channels, typically it's because they are, just interested in the platform as a whole. They like making videos and they want to, connect with other people who are into what it is that they're doing. And that's, like typically the initial approach or the initial steps into YouTube. So do that. And just remember to have fun, while you are, along in the, while you're going through the process. And then another one here with vaping with Mobro.
Super chat.
Says, thank you for your tips. I've surpassed my plateau after changing up my thumbnails and making my title shorter and more relevant. Fist bump, brother. High five and fist bump to you. Congratulations on, bringing everything back to life. I love seeing feedback like that. Okay, so next up, I'm going to scroll through here. So if you have any questions about YouTube, what it is that you're doing on YouTube, just put them here because I'm just going to randomly pull them out. And I'll actually move my mouse over here and I will start putting these on the screen to give everybody context, like as they're coming into the stream. It's probably the responsible thing to do, right? Okay, so let's see here. Faith Vista says, sometimes I'm not having a good time because something that I worked hard for doesn't get good results. Okay, that's a fantastic statement. And I can't even tell you how many content creators feel the same exact way. I felt the same way when I was getting started too. When you are putting in all of this work, it's important to make sure that your perspective is leading you in the right direction. So when you are putting in a lot of work, unfortunately on YouTube, We don't get rewarded by the amount of work that we do on our content. We get rewarded by how people respond to what it is that we do. So that's why you'll see some channels that just make shaky phone videos, but for whatever reason, they're so engaging that, that particular person, that their audience, when people come in and watch that person, they're like, oh my God, they're hilarious. I'm subscribing to this channel, and those channels just blow up. Where other people invest, tens of thousands of dollars in all of this pro camera equipment, and they don't get any results at all. Right. So, because they're not serving the audience, right? They're just like, hey, if I just make everything look great, then people are going to be on board. And it just doesn't work that way. So unfortunately, we're rewarded. I mean, fortunately, but unfortunately too, we're rewarded by how people respond to what we do, and not the actual time and effort that we put into what it is that we're doing. But the perspective that I want you to think about is when you first start playing an instrument, you are playing that instrument and you have no idea, or when you start using software, right? Because I dabble in electronic music. So when you're first starting to use some software, you're investing tons of time into just trying to figure out how to make it all work, and how do I move this? If I want to copy and move this over to here and duplicate it, or if I want to change the pitch on this, like, how do I do that? And you go through this big, long process, and then it might take you a long time to be very proficient in a piece of music software or at an instrument. And you're not getting, real rewards out of it. You're just spending tons of time trying to actually get to a point to where that one day, just like you have one video that like, hey, this is it, this video, my channel's starting to take off now. The same exact thing happens to where you have that one day to where you're like, oh, okay, I'm kind of in the flow now. I get it. Now I can, now I can, play a little something. This is cool. It feels great. I'm getting results now. Same thing with the music software, right? Like, you're playing with it and you're like, yeah, I just can't make anything that sounds good. And then eventually you're like, okay, this is cool. And then you'll, save it out and you'll drive around listening to it, right? So, YouTube is the same exact ways. You put in a lot of front end work for the long-term result. So what I want you to focus on, Faith, is that you are kind of planting seeds right now. Right. So basically all the different things that you're learning, all the different things that you're experimenting with on your channel, every single video that you upload, that's a seed. And through every seed that you plant, you are getting experience from that seed. And eventually those seeds are going to start growing into something as you start creating that content library. And eventually your channel will pick up momentum. Now, how fast it's going to happen, I can't tell you, because that's going to be based on, your content, your skill development, and your understanding, all that good stuff. But if you keep walking down that path, you'll get there. Okay. So like a good example of this is Mr. Beast. So Mr. Beast, and we always talk about him in the YouTube space because one of our friends, Daryl, he actually works with him. But basically with him, he was on YouTube for years before he had any success. Now he's like one of the fastest growing channels on the platform. So, it's just really important to make sure that you just keep that perspective, because it's really easy with what it is that we do here on YouTube. It's really easy for us to get discouraged and be like, you know what? It's just not working out right now. So maybe I'll just stop, right? Be mindful, be like, okay, it's not working out. Why is it not working out? Is it because, I need to make better thumbnails? I need to make better titles. I need to make better content because I look in my stats and I realize that people aren't responding to my content as good as I would like them to, that sort of thing. But you have to be mindful with it in order to, make sure that you are, taking the right approach, or that you don't take the opportunity away from yourself due to that frustration.
Super chat.
Tommy T067 says, hey, Nick, I noticed that my tag section, that my rank numbers will change at times. TubeBuddy lets me sort my tags so the higher positions get moved to the top. Am I helping my views by doing this? So no, not really. Like, it's not going to matter. Like, basically when you are sorting your tags, if you do it like once, it's fine. But after that, like, YouTube has enough context about your video. They're pulling all of the data, metadata, and your captions and what's actually happening in the video. They're basically using all that information to try to understand who to show that content to at the time that they're most likely to enjoy that piece of content. So going in and changing the order of your tags isn't going to be something that's going to all of a sudden make that video start doing better. Because by the time you get around to noticing that, hey, this tag is ranking now, then in that situation, YouTube already knows, who the people are for that video and so on. And another thing to think about as well is when you are looking at those tag rankings, if you look at them on your account, and you look at them in an incognito mode, and then you look at them in my account, and you look at them in a friend's account and somebody else's account, you're going to see different numbers in a lot of cases. Sometimes if you nail a term, then you'll be solidified in there across the board. But for a lot of the additional tags, you'll see that like, hey, on my account, I'm ranking for tons of stuff, but on, incognito or in other people's accounts, I'm only ranking for like 2 things. So because of that, take those tag rankings kind of like as just kind of a guide that will just let you know like, hey, I'm showing up for these terms, but don't look at it as something that you need to really optimize for. Use your tags, but don't look at the sorting option as something that like you need to make sure that you're optimizing for. Let's see here. Next up, we've got
Super Chat.
Peach McIntyre. Peach McIntyre says, I went 500 subscribers to 10,000 in a week. Following your advice, now I'm at 46,000 4 months later. High five and fist bump to you. Absolutely love seeing that type of feedback, seeing those types of results coming in. Congratulations to you. It feels awesome, doesn't it? Like when you get that momentum, like it feels awesome. Absolutely feels awesome. So nice work to you. Homegrown USA says, thank you for your work. Thank you for watching, and thank you for the super chat. It is appreciated. Glad that you're enjoying the content.
Super Chat.
That boy Tristeen says, struggling to identify ranked tags. Any suggestions? So TubeBuddy will actually show you, if you're not familiar with that, TubeBuddy. I don't have a link to them in the description because this was like an impromptu stream. I was like, I'm not even going to put a full description together. I'm just going to go live and just hang out, with the crew. So I didn't even, put a full description together, but you can go to tubebuddy.com. They actually have like a tag ranking thing, but or to where you can actually see, the tag rankings. But here's the thing. When you are putting your content together, ultimately, you want to rank for one thing specifically. You have your primary thing that you're trying to rank for. If you're targeting search, you want to have your primary thing that you rank for. And then, of course, depending on how you're putting your content together, what your content is about and all that, then you can also, depending on how naturally you can put it in there in natural language, you can also rank for, additional things as well. But the main focus that you need is I'm trying to rank for this. And then you optimize your entire video around that so that you can, create strong metadata around that specific thing in terms of giving YouTube context to what your video is about. And then from there, you got to do the heavy lifting on making sure that your thumbnail gets clicked on, making sure that the people that do click on that thumbnail enjoy the video content as well. So again, make sure you're using the tags, but don't get too caught up in the actual tag rankings or any of that, because ultimately it comes down to you're just giving YouTube context to what the video is about, and then you just have to make sure that you're putting out content that people respond positively to. Think Art TV. What's up? Hope that you are doing fantastic. Lamar Woods, nice to see you here. The Guard says, hey, did you miss a super chat from Matt Hayes? I'm not sure. I didn't. This isn't my normal stream thing, so I'm not sure. In the meantime, while I'm pulling this up, I just want to say again, I do want to tell you again, this is not sponsored in any way. I just love VidSummit, so I just want to make sure that I'm bringing it to everybody's attention. Just for those of you that didn't know that it was happening this year or whatever. So basically this year, to my understanding, with the VidSummit virtual ticket, you also get a ticket to the actual in-person event, as long as everything is safe by then. You also get a ticket to the in-person event that's coming up in 2021 as well. To my understanding, you'll see on the actual page when you go there exactly what you get with that. But VidSummit, the information that you're going to learn in the virtual summit, and again, just vidsummit.com is where you'll find that, or you can find it in the link in the description. But the virtual, you're going to get tons of information because they're able to have speakers from all over the world. So they have more speakers. But in addition to that, if you can make it to the in-person event, as long as everything is, cleared up by then in terms of, safety and, all that good stuff, social distancing, all that good stuff, as long as, we're in the clear there, it's incredible. There's nothing like it. Let's see here. Let me go into this and then I will pull that super chat up. Thanks for bringing that to my attention, Begard. Okay, if anybody wants to ban, here, I'll go ahead. I don't know if I can ban them directly out of here. Block user. Okay, so let's see here. The TNA Hunter. I don't know if that still means what it used to mean, but great channel name. Says, I wonder how many are watching at their real job. So probably a lot. So here's the thing. I know that right now, I'm live during the week, and I know that the time that I went live, a lot of people are probably just showing up at work, that kind of thing. So there's also a lot of people that are working from home right now. So if you're supposed to be working, I appreciate you hanging out in the stream. But yeah, so I've actually had people tell me. I met a guy named Josh. He actually lives relatively close to my mom. I was in a Best Buy, and he was like, hey, are you Nick? I watch your YouTube channel. And he told me how he used to watch my channel while he was a chef. And basically he had all this time, and they let him have headphones in. So he had all this time to where he was just making food all night. And what he would do is he would just put in headphones, and he would put put his phone up on the thing or whatever. While he was working at his real job, he would just sit there and listen to like YouTube tips and YouTube information. And it set him off on a good path for his YouTube channel. So absolutely. Yeah, people do listen from the real jobs. Tam's ASMR is another one that came through. Says, hey, Nick, if a content creator hits 1,000 subscribers in 4,000 hours after the year is up, do they have to wait another year to monetize? No. So it's a rolling period. So from the day that you cross that milestone, that's when you qualify for monetization. And then you just have to make sure you keep hitting that milestone every 365 days from that point forward in order to stay within the program. Let's see here. We got vaping. Couponing for a cause.
Super chat.
Says, hey, just wanted to say thank you. I hit 60,000 subscribers. Your tips and advice have been so helpful. Thank you. High five and fist bump to you. Love seeing that. Couponing for a cause. 60,000 subscribers couponing. This is what I love about YouTube. It doesn't matter what we do, right? We've got vaping here. We've got couponing. We've got ASMR stuff. We've got, magic down here, all kinds of cool stuff. And, and people are getting success with all kinds of different content. Absolutely love it. Believe in the magic. Says, howdy, Nick. I have concerns about good thumbnails. Here's the thing. When you're putting your thumbnails together, you got to think of this. Define it yourself. Why should somebody click on this thumbnail? If I was my target demographic, which you should be if I was my target demographic, what about this thumbnail and title combination would make me want to click? Because here's what you have to think about when you are packaging up your content. So basically your packaging consists of your topic, because you got to put out something that people are actually interested in order for it to even matter. But your topic can also impact your click-through rate. But you have your thumbnail as well, which impacts your click-through rate. And then you also have your title, which impacts your click-through rate. So you want to look at all of those things and how they work together to explain to somebody that is not familiar with what's actually going to happen when they click on that thumbnail, to explain to them what it is that they're actually going to get from your content. And you need to define why they should click. So like in your case, if you're struggling with thumbnails, then what I recommend that you do is just look at it and think to yourself, and this is for everybody, think to yourself, okay, if this video shows up on somebody's homepage, or it shows up next to another video on the platform somewhere under another video on a mobile, then what is it that would be intriguing enough that somebody would be interested enough to click on this? And also, is it clear what this video is about? So for example, if you were doing content about pianos, then in that situation, you would want to make sure that you're being extremely clear exactly what it is that you're doing with pianos. I saw a guy earlier on Facebook today, actually. He was talking about his channel art. I think it was in the Morning Fame group. And he was talking about his channel art, and he posted in there, and he's like, hey, any feedback on this? And it just said like his name and then said piano. And one of the things that I told him is, I was like, well, you gotta say like what it is that you're doing with the piano. Like, is it like, are you repairing pianos? Are you making furniture out of pianos? Are you playing the piano? Are you doing covers on the piano? Are you teaching piano? Are you destroying pianos? I mean, we're talking YouTube here, right? I mean, people drop these things off of buildings. So it's like, like, what are you doing with, pianos? Like, make it clear. The same exact thing applies to your thumbnail. Like, you want to make sure that you're thinking like, okay, if somebody were to see this, what are some things that they might think about this thumbnail? And is there any other way that they could take this out of context? And is it just crystal clear what they're getting? Or is there some type of intrigue there in terms of like, oh yeah, this isn't clear exactly what they're getting necessarily, but it's built up enough that they're going to want to click this because it's like, hey, this looks like it's interesting. So I want to make sure that I click on this. But you want to make sure that it's clear in terms of them, like why they should click and what's in it for them, essentially, when it comes to your thumbnails. And if you're using text, make sure that you use a limited amount of text, and any text that you use, make sure that any focus words that you have, basically, and that means the words that are going to be grabbing the most attention, make sure those words are big, bold, and very easy to read. You don't want to use any fancy stuff. Let's see here. Matt Hayes
Super chat
says, "Hey, your channel has been huge for helping us grow. Thanks." Oh no, that wasn't Matt. That was actually Nissan Nation Productions. Thank you for the kind words, and thank you for the super chat as well. And Matt Hayes says, "Hey Nick, you missed my earlier super chat." So that was kind of meta. So we're gonna keep going down here. So his other super chat is, "This is a great surprise. I've changed a lot on my channel recently. Would love a review. No worries if you're not doing them. Just wanted to ask." Yeah, not doing them. However, I am going to be pulling up some channels for reference when I do the members only live stream, not this coming Friday, but next Friday. So if you are in there, which I think that you are, make sure when I make the post in there about putting a link to your channel, make sure that you drop your channel in there. Let's see here. And then I got that spelling one. Okay. That brings us up to speed. Oh, and we've got one more here from Matt's RV Review. Says, "Hey, my demographic is 45 to 65. Everyone says TikTok is where it's at because it's underpriced attention. I personally think it will hurt my YouTube channel because it would dilute my audience and hurt my CPM and click-through rate." So if your audience is 45 to 65, what I would do is I would hop online and I would dig around for TikTok's main demographics, their primary demographics, which I'm going to guess is going to be much younger people than that. I hop on TikTok every now and then, but it's not something that is part of my routine, but I know there are some older people that do. So I'm kind of in alignment with you there, but I would definitely research it first just to make sure. So one thing that you might want to think about though, is not even trying to drive into your YouTube channel. So what you could do is you could take some of your YouTube content and you could, short form it, so to speak, and you could just have that as its own standalone thing on TikTok, and you could grow a TikTok channel along with what it is that you're doing without ever mentioning your YouTube channel. So then you're building two assets online. And with TikTok, they're starting to monetize and all that stuff as well. And if you're doing anything like affiliate wise, anything like that, like you can drive traffic around from there as well. So that's definitely something to think about. But for your demographic, you might also want to publish content on LinkedIn as well. Even though it's more like business-minded people that you would think are on LinkedIn, people still do enjoy like all types of random content there as well. So you might also want to think about that just for connecting with that demographic. And of course, Facebook, like that demographic is pretty much like, that's what Facebook is structured on these days. Not always, but these days, like, it's definitely an older crowd over on Facebook. Okay, so let's go to another question here. Let's see here what we got. Let's see. And it looks like I'm not having anybody join me today. I thought I was going to. I posted the thing in my Nimmin Live Facebook group here, and I was like, yeah, I'll have somebody hop on for a little bit, but I don't think anybody's going to join. But it's okay. I got this. Okay, so my E-Class and Bite says, "What if trending topics doesn't fit my niche? If they don't fit your niche, then don't even worry about it. But what you can do is you can look around and try to find things that are trending around what it is that you're doing. Now, in some cases, you're not going to be able to find that much, but in a lot of cases, if you really dig, and I'm talking dig, like roll up your sleeves and spend like a few hours on the computer looking for things around your niche, in a lot of cases, you can find things that are of much higher interest based around the type of content that you make. Let's see here. Pooh Vlog says, "Hey, Nick, I've been following you from the beginning of my journey. Now I'm at 10,000 subscribers. Thank you for your educational videos. Pooh Vlogs, high five and fist bump to you. Congratulations on your success there as well." That's awesome. So again, I do want to remind everybody that if you just happen to be joining right now, I've got a link to Vid Summit down in the description below. Vid Summit is a conference. They're doing it virtual for now, but it's a conference for YouTube content creators and people that do video online. So if you're live streaming, if you're uploading videos to YouTube, to Facebook, to LinkedIn, to TikTok, any of that stuff, you want to make sure if you are investing into what it is that you're doing online, you want to grow your influence, online, then you definitely need to attend Vid Summit in person, of course, once, all that, once we can do that. But right now we're doing it virtual with Vid Summit worldwide. And I've got a link to that down in the description below. It's not an affiliate link, but I have a presentation there about how to create a rock solid YouTube channel. That's my topic, but there's a lot of awesome topics that everybody's going to be talking about. And you can see all that stuff. If you just go to vidsummit.com, you'll be able to see that. But I highly recommend that everybody here, there's 326 people here. I highly recommend that every single one of you, if you're serious about your YouTube channel that you sign up and that you watch the Vid Summit information. And the reason for that is because, like on our YouTube channels, and I want to make this, I just want to share this really quick too, because this is actually kind of like a thing that I have to deal with the type of content that I make that I never talk about, is on my YouTube channel. There's a lot of information that I would love to share. And anytime I try to share deeper, more like higher level information on my channel through my audience retention reports and how the videos perform at scale, that's just not something that you guys respond to. So for the people that are serious about YouTube, that's where like Vid Summit, for example, comes into play, because that's where that type of information is shared. I mean, of course, I share tons on the live streams that I do on Saturday because it just comes out naturally in that situation. But in terms of like structured information, Vid Summit, you can get tons of like pro high level information there and foundational stuff too. In terms of like, my presentation, it's for people that are just coming in, right, to YouTube, so they can make sure they're setting everything up properly in terms of, how they're structuring their content and all that good stuff. But also for people that are already experienced that, maybe they haven't been doing it for that long, because some of the things that I talk about is how to protect yourself and your mind state and all that stuff as a content creator. I talk about how to basically be sustainable with yourself as a content creator, how to be sustainable with your audience, and how to be sustainable within YouTube and YouTube systems. So my entire presentation is based on those three things. So you definitely want to make sure that you're in there at least for my presentation. Let's see here. So next up, our question that we have on the list is Ping Pong Master says, hey, gotcha. Thanks for the answer. Says, I'm still learning a year in, says Heather Psy D. I've been doing this since September of 2014. I'm still learning. So, that's the fun thing about YouTube. In my last video, I answered a question from Dr. What was it again? It's like Dr. something, but he's got almost 1 million subscribers on his YouTube channel. And, he left a question basically in my community feed. I post before I do a subscriber Q&A session where I record a bunch of videos on those. I'll make a community post and I'll say, hey, I'm getting ready to record for some stuff for my Q&A series. So if you have questions, just make sure that you leave them. And he left a question in there asking about, like how to create like a funnel of sorts to get people watching more than one video. And I made that video and he came back in. He's like, yeah, it's good advice. But the reason I'm telling you this is because even people that have experience, even people with large YouTube channels, like everybody's still learning all the time, because all of this stuff is constantly changing. Everything is constantly improving. Some things are getting easier, some things are getting more difficult. So, because of that, we're all constantly evolving, and it never stops. Ever. It never stops. But it's a good thing, because it keeps you fresh, keeps you on your toes, and it keeps you, constantly engaged with what's happening on your end as a content creator as well. So the fact that you've been doing it for a year and you're still learning, don't even sweat it, because, like I literally study this stuff, right? Like I literally study it. I have access to, it was at one time, it was 112 channels. Now I think I'm down into like the 70s or something. But basically, with all of that information, like I literally go in like, throughout the week, and I'm looking at all these different channels, and I'm seeing all the different things, with the different videos that are posting and all that stuff. And I'm seeing, exactly how people are responding to them and the things that they're doing that are working and they're not working and things like that. And, like I study this stuff and I'm still learning, right? That's why I'm studying it. So I can share with you guys, the right information and the right stuff to do. Let's see here. DJ Cook. That's it. Destruct. Thank you. Thank you for that. Tim Yance, what's up? Hope you're doing great. Says, thanks to all the help with your valuable information, Bluegrass Picker. Thank you for the kind words. I appreciate it. Dirty Foreign Gang. Love your channel name. Says, from one Nick to another, us Nicks roll deep. Says, I'm definitely putting some of your tactics to use, just getting serious with my channel. Let's see here, as of a few weeks. Wish me luck, guys. Yeah, if you're getting serious, here's the thing. When it comes to YouTube, and this is a crazy thing to think about, but it's so hard to actually like see it. Like when you're just getting started, right? And you have this big mountain, it seems, in front of you, and you're like, oh my gosh, how am I ever gonna, get the momentum on this thing? And the funny thing is like when you make that decision to where it's like, you know what, I'm going to be objective with what it is that I'm doing, and I'm going to take this seriously, and I'm going to actually approach this seriously and be like super serious about this. Of course, you want to still have fun, but I'm going to be serious. I'm going to take it seriously. Just that by itself, and how that changes your approach to what it is that you're doing, just that by itself can make a really big difference, with your YouTube channel. So I'm looking forward to you coming back in the near future and being like, hey, I just crossed 10,000 subscribers or 50,000 subscribers. Looking forward to you swinging by and saying that. Kung Fu Hot Dog.
Welcome to the Nimminati.
Welcome to the Nimminati. Next time that you're on Facebook, look for Nimminati VIP. That is our members only Facebook group. I will be adding people there tomorrow when I sit down in front of the computer. So make sure that you fill out all the information on the way in, because that's how I verify that you're a member. And we have a members only live stream coming up, not this coming Friday, but next Friday. So make sure that you are, if you're like, hey, I'll get in there, sometime this week, just make sure that you're there for next Friday. Let's see here. Okay, next question. So if you have a question about what it is you're doing on YouTube, today we're not using the form that we typically use on Nimmin Live. So so make sure that if you have a question, go ahead and drop it. Go ahead and drop it in here. Great question. Codex says, how do you do a members live stream for 4 to 5 members? Okay, so if you have 4 or 5 members and you are wanting to do a members only live stream, then you could just make it a hangout. I'm not sure exactly what it is that you offer on your YouTube channel, but at the very least, you could just make it a hangout to where, you're talking to people. If you wanted to, you could use something like StreamYard, which is what I'm using to stream this right now. You could use something like StreamYard to actually bring those people, right into your live stream, and, have them hang out with you, and you guys, hang out and talk and all that good stuff on your live stream, if that would be something that you're into as well. To Laugh, to Love, to Learn says Thursday live. Yeah, I was feeling that way too. I was like, hey, wait a minute, this feels a little bit weird. It's Thursday. I told my girlfriend, I'm like, hey, I'm going to go live. And she's like, it's Thursday. And I'm like, yeah, I know, it's weird, right? It's like crazy. It's like Thursday. I'm going live. What's going on? But I just wanted to make sure, the reason I wanted to come on here is 2 things. One is I just wanted to make sure that you guys knew about the YouTube app update, so you can make sure that you're optimizing for it, because I want you to get a jump on it. 2, I also want to make sure that you guys know about Vid Summit, which is the YouTube conference or the video conference. And a link to that is down in the description below. It's virtual, so you can actually watch it from your computer, but a lot of really great information is going to be shared there about growing your YouTube channel and building audiences and earning income from this stuff. So make sure, if you haven't yet, and it's not an affiliate link, and this stream isn't sponsored by them. They haven't given me any money at all. I have to send them the invoice still, because I printed this big backdrop thing. So I still have to send them the invoice for that. So there's literally been no money sent my way to tell you, to say this to you. But it's just that Vid Summit is an incredible conference, and the information shared there is massive. So you definitely want to make sure that you are, that you're tapping into that information, but a link to it's down in the description below, or you can just go to vidsummit.com. Let's see here. We've got a new member as well. That boy Tristeen.
Welcome to the Nimminati.
Welcome to the Nimminati. Make sure that next time you are on Facebook that you look for Nimminati VIP. You can also find a direct link. There's some members only videos. You can find just me cruising around talking. It's basically just me cruising around talking to a camera. And I've literally got, I think, 20 of those now. I just have to get them edited and actually get them up there. But there's a few of them up there now, but you can find in the video description of those videos, you can find a direct link to the members only Facebook group. LaughTube says, I connected my YouTube channel to analytics and nothing is showing up. So you're talking about Google Analytics. So hold on. So showing up the advanced settings, the box in which to enter the code appears, and if I want to add a website. So first, in order to add a website, you have to be in the partner program. So if you're not yet, you're not going to be able to add a website. In terms of analytics by itself, YouTube Analytics, as soon as you start getting views, then you have access to YouTube Analytics. If you don't, then there's a glitch of some kind with your channel, and you definitely want to make sure that you send them a message at Team YouTube on Twitter, or that you hop on Reddit, or that you just contact YouTube support through your YouTube channel backend, so that you can let them know that you're having issues there. Let's see here. Lil Crafty Nook says, I bought tickets in January. Fantastic. Yeah, you're gonna love it. You're absolutely gonna love it. Lego Brick-a-Brack says 160 isn't bad for an unplanned live stream. Yeah, well, the thing is, I don't do the live streams to make money. I do fantastic off of all the other things that I do around my YouTube channel. So I actually don't do these streams to make money. But yeah, not bad for an unplanned live stream. Let's see here. Next up, we've got Wednesdays. How do I get on the recommended page for people that don't follow me? This is a great question, Sierra. and we're going to talk about that. How many people here, just give me a hashtag me, how many people here want to get your videos recommended by YouTube more? Because when you say recommended page, that's kind of like like to be more accurate, it would just be, how do I get YouTube to recommend my content more? Because when it comes to being recommended, you have the homepage where they recommend your content, and then you also have the suggested area around other videos to where they recommend your content there as well. And then technically, you've also got where they suggest stories and shorts now as well. But basically, when it comes to getting YouTube to recommend your content more, YouTube tells us that, one, people watch videos or that YouTube recommends videos next to other videos that are topically related and that are videos that people watch together. So that's one thing to keep in mind. So by topically related, it means that if you make videos on iPads and you make sure that you optimize your videos around whatever it is that you're doing with iPad so that it's clear that you are talking about the iPad, then what happens in that situation is eventually YouTube, if they're not doing it already, eventually YouTube would start showing your content next to other videos or other content creators that are talking a lot about iPads. So that's kind of the idea in terms of that topical relationship. Now, when it comes to videos that people commonly watch together, this is why I'm constantly telling people to make sure that you're driving people into additional pieces of content, so that you're pinning comments, you're adding in-screen elements so that people can click on your in-screens, that you're adding links in your video descriptions, things like that. Because what you want to do is, as your content library grows, you can't fully control it, but you want to, again, create that advantage for yourself to where you're leading people into sets of content. And the reason that's important is because when YouTube identifies that one person is really enjoying your content, right? And that person might be subscribed, they might not be subscribed as well. But when YouTube identifies that this one person is really enjoying your content and they're watching multiple videos on your channel, and then they notice that another person that is similar in terms of how they use YouTube, the things that they're interested in, the types of videos they watch, and the things that they interact with on YouTube, when they identify that this other person is also interacting with your channel and they're similar to this person in terms of how they use YouTube and the different things they look at and they're interested in, and then another person, then what happens in that situation is then their system identifies that, hey, this type of user is getting a satisfactory experience from this content creator, from these specific videos on this channel. Then YouTube takes over and then they start recommending your content to other people that would be like those other users that would be the most likely to watch your content at that particular time that they happen to be on the platform with that particular page load or that particular scroll or whatever it happens to be if they're on a mobile device. So when it comes to getting recommended, those are some things you got to keep in mind. But how do you actually make it happen like within that? So when it comes to recommendations, YouTube tells us also that they typically recommend videos that people will watch for a longer period of time. And that is because they're trying to get, a lot of watch time per impression. And also clicking on it is another very important factor of that. So when it comes to getting YouTube to recommend your content, then it really comes down to, of course, making sure that you're making a good quality experience for a certain type of user. This is where niching down is really important. I actually talk about this in depth in my presentation for Vid Summit, but basically getting people to or to where their systems can identify that that type of user enjoys your content, so they can show it to more people that way. But when they show it to those additional people, this is where you have to come in. And this is where it becomes very important to make sure that you're making thumbnails that in titles and topics that people click on and that they're interested in, and that you are able to keep people watching your content for an acceptable amount of time. And by acceptable, I simply mean enough time for YouTube to deem it as a quality experience for their user, for the person that's coming through and watching that content. In some cases, that might be a minute. In other cases, that you might have to get 10 minutes, for them to deem it as a quality experience. It's going to change with every single video that you upload. But the idea is that you have to make sure that you're giving their users a quality experience. And if you do that and you keep doing that, then your videos are going to start getting recommended a lot, and you're going to start showing up on more home pages, being suggested next to other videos as well. And your channel overall is just going to perform better. That's why I'm always talking about all of those things. It's making it easier for people to find more of your content so they can watch more in like one session, or just keep coming back to the channel and watching more. Making sure that it's clear why people should click on thumbnails, making sure that you're paying attention to your audience retention reports so that you can make changes if you need to, so that when somebody's, when all these people are interacting with your content, so that you can over time learn hey, when people are watching my videos, this is how they're responding. So I need to make sure that I'm modifying some things in order to create a better experience for them. As an example, let's say that I talk too much and people leave when I just sit there and I motor mouth, kind of like I do. Well, in that situation, that tells you, hey, you need to give a little bit of space sometimes, right? Experiment with that. Let's say that you're not showing any graphics on the screen and you notice, hey, when it's just me on the screen for a while, people are leaving. Well, experiment with throwing graphics on the screen or B-roll or something like that. Sometimes if you're showing too much B-roll, people will leave for that. If you have something static on the screen for too long, sometimes people will leave for that. So what you have to do over time as a content creator, if you want to get recommended more and just get more activity on your channel as a whole and just do better on YouTube, is you just have to pay really close attention to that stuff so that you can start noticing, hey, when people are interacting with my stuff, this is how they're reacting to it. So what can I do to modify what it is that I'm doing in a way that people react to it in a better way? So is it my editing? Is it how I'm presenting? Is it the particular topics that I'm choosing? Or is it how I'm writing my titles or my thumbnails? But basically just being objective about it and looking at everything it is that you're doing and paying attention. Right. And the thing that I was talking about before in terms of like taking all this stuff seriously, that's where that comes into play, because it goes from like, oh, I'm not going to pay attention, I'm just going to upload content and then hopefully things will work out, to I'm taking it seriously. So I'm in my stats, I'm paying attention to how, my videos are performing, how people are interacting with my stuff, so that I can be serious about it. And I can, start taking notes on, why people leave videos, or my theories on why people are leaving my videos, so that I can experiment against those theories by making additional content on YouTube. And then, paying attention to that content as well, seeing how people responded to your experiments. Great question. Thank you for that. Let's see here. So next up, we have, let's see here. I left, but I'm back. I was wondering if VidSummit is worth it for small creators, especially since it will be virtual this year. Absolutely. My presentation alone is worth it for small creators. So like my presentation and the presentation that Jesse gave as well, both of those are worth it for small creators. And then there's like another like 30 something presenters with information. So just ours is worth, like, I'm not even sure what they're charging for it for the virtual one, but just ours, like whatever they're charging for it, just ours is worth it. So in addition to ours, you're getting like 30 something additional presenters. Let's see here. Greg's VR says, I started taking it seriously in March this year after sitting on 400 subscribers for a year. I'm about to hit 200 or 2,000 subscribers now. High five and fist bump to you. Nice work. Uh-oh, I got robotic for a second. Not good. Okay, let's see here. So the Never Ending Network says, this is a weird question, but do you get YouTube Prime or whatever it's called when you get monetized? No, you do not. So that's something that you pay for, is premium. And basically the idea with premium is that when you pay for premium, all you're doing is you're paying to not see ads. That's it. You also get, depending on where you're located in the world, you also get some premium content as well, to where it's kind of like a Netflix of sorts, to where they have like additional things that they put out there. Let's see here. Is vidIQ down? Tag rankings in studio are not showing my score. I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't keep track on what they do over at vidIQ. I'm not sure. Let's see here. Okay, Mike's Auto Detailing says, I started using StreamYard. I'm practicing it. Do you have any tips that I can practice that I might not know of? I want to share a screen once in a while, and I don't know how. So yeah, absolutely. So when it comes to sharing your screen, all you have to do is, if you look down, like when you have the interface itself, do I have that plugged in? Yeah. So here, I'll just show you. It's easier that way. So when you are sharing your screen, in StreamYard. So one thing that I personally do just to kind of run everything a little bit smoother is, hold on, I got like a monitor reset and everything here for plugging into my interface. Let me go full screen. Booyah. Okay, so let's see if that works. There it is. Oh no. Oh, hey. So basically inside of StreamYard, let me take this off of the screen so that you can see the actual thing. Inside of StreamYard, if you go down here to the very bottom, you're going to see the option to share screen, like I just did. If you click on that, then it will let you, it'll let you share your screen. But other things is just really quick. Over on the right-hand side, they also have a graphics. They have a banner thing to where you can actually, run a little ticker across the bottom, which is really cool. In addition to that, they have the brand area over here on the right. So you can add, like, how I have the Nimmin Live watermark up there at the top. You can add graphics to the screen. My brother D, he actually has a store called streamertemplates.com. If you go there, he actually has some like pre-made kits of some pretty cool stuff as well that you can also check out. All right, let's see here. Next up on our list, should I delete my underperforming videos on my channel? Says Read Arts and Adventures. So it's a great question. So if you notice that you're not getting any impressions at all on a video, then of course go into your audience retention, see, if you can figure out why. It might be that, the retention sucked. It might be that your thumbnail and title just didn't do the trick on getting people to click. Therefore, it ended up not doing well, even though the retention for the people that did come in was okay. So what you want to do is you kind of want to identify why it's not getting any traffic. And then if you're like, hey, people that came in and they responded to this video, they watched it for a little bit. So it's okay. So let me, make a new thumbnail for it. Let me make a new title, maybe, change like a little bit of the description or whatever. And then, save that and maybe try to even drive some traffic to it from one of your new videos by pinning a comment, adding it in your end screen, telling people in the end screen, hey, just updated this video here about XYZ, check it out. So that you can, get a little bit of activity on it and then see if YouTube will pick it up from there. If they still don't, then in that case, it doesn't really hurt to leave it on your channel, but like if people just don't respond to it at all, it's not really doing you any good either. So let's see here. To laugh, to love, to learn says that my live streams have helped me tremendously with watch hours. Oh yeah, absolutely they do. Where can I ask a question at? You just did it. That was the chance right there. So basically all I'm doing typically, if this was a Saturday, live stream, then I would be like, hey, I got a form down in the description, but this is just like a random stream. I just wanted to come on and let you guys know about the YouTube app update and how to optimize for it. And I also wanted to let you know that Vid Summit is starting tomorrow as well. So because of that, I'm just pulling them directly from the comments right now.
If you're enjoying the show, remember to give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend right now.
All right. So next up, let's see here. We got Dr. Sten in the house. What's up, dude? Hope that you are doing awesome. Yeah, so that boy Tristine says, can you provide a link to the Nimmin VIP? If you go to my channel page right now or go to the videos page, or actually go to my community tab, either one. If you just look for the members only videos, then you'll see it. You'll see a link in the description there. Or if you just go to Facebook and you look for Nimmin VIP, then it'll pop up there in the search as well. Because I just don't have a link. I just don't have a link handy right now. Let's see here. The best way to start on YouTube is to start, right? Because, a lot of people will wait to start a YouTube channel because they want to wait until they're comfortable. They want to wait until they have, the best gear. They want to wait until, X, Y, Z. But if you are interested in being a content creator and you're wanting to start a YouTube channel, but you haven't done it yet, just start. Just start making stuff. And the reason that you should do that is because there's a learning curve. Just, uploading videos and getting videos ready to publish and, editing videos, all that stuff, making thumbnails. There's a lot to learn. So if you just start uploading, things that you care about, content that you care about, then what you're going to do in that situation is you're going to start practicing how to actually go through the process of uploading content and all of that. And then once you get comfortable with that, then you can either, start taking it seriously or start focusing on a very specific type of content for a specific type of audience based on what you are wanting to do YouTube for. And then if you are wanting to, you can, do that on the channel that you started initially to get started. Or you can say, you know what, now I have a better understanding of all this stuff works. So I'm going to start another channel and I'm going to take it seriously from day one so that I can, just start with like a solid foundation. Let's see here. One thing that YouTube actually recommends, just as a heads up too, on the question about, starting a YouTube channel. One of the things that YouTube actually recommends is like, if you don't really know the niche that you want to go into, or you don't know, the exact type of content that you want to make, if you want to be reactive about it instead of proactive, I recommend the proactive approach, which is, hey, this is what I want to use my YouTube channel for. And because I want to use it for that, I need to make, this type of content that's going to reach this particular type of people. And it's also something I'm interested in and all that. But if you want to be reactive about it, what YouTube recommends is that you just start uploading, different videos about different things that you happen to be interested in. And then when you notice one video or one type of content ends up doing exceptionally better than the other type of content, then you lean into that. And then that becomes the niche that you lean into and that you start making content around on a regular basis. If you take that approach, in my opinion, it can lead to great places, but it's a little bit of kind of like, let's just keep uploading random stuff and hope something takes off instead of being very intentional about it. Because when you're intentional, then you can do things like, hey, if I'm making content about Minecraft, then in that situation, then I'm going to go and I'm going to hang out in every Minecraft Facebook group. I'm going to hang out in all the Minecraft subreddits. I'm going to hang out anywhere Minecrafters hang out. I'm going to be interacting in the Minecraft communities, and I'm going to, try to get to know other people that make Minecraft content and things like that. And you can take that proactive approach to, getting to know other people in the space and all of that. To whereas if you're doing it the other way, then in that situation, you're just kind of sitting back and you're just kind of hoping something will work out instead of making it work out, if that makes any sense. Let's see here. Amy Louise says, is it a good idea to preview videos or just have them scheduled? Premiere, I think, is what you meant by that, I believe. So what you want to do is you want to test that against your audience. Me personally, I'm not a fan of premieres in general. I've worked with a few channels. I've only done one on my current channel, but I worked with a few channels where they did them more, but we actually ended up stopping because they underperformed on all of those channels as well. But I would be very strategic about premieres if you do them, and make sure that you are doing them for a reason, not just, like, hey, I'm just going to do a premiere because it's a feature, but like, hey, I'm going to do a premiere because I'm trying to bring attention to something and I want to be able to answer questions in real time from my audience when I am publishing this video. Because if every video is a premiere, then it takes the special part of the premiere, it just takes that away. Because then it's just like part of how you upload your videos instead of it being like an event or something special or reason to premiere. And outside of that, even with scheduling, I'm not a fan of scheduling videos. I like to, even if I should have a video scheduled, unless I'm traveling or something, I will still, even if it's from my phone, I'll still, in most cases, not always, but in most cases when I can, I'll still log into my YouTube channel and publish manually. And the reason for that is and YouTube recommends this as well, I don't like to publish right on the dot. So one of the things that YouTube made a video about in their Creator Insiders channel, which you should definitely be a part of. If you are not subscribed to that channel, you should be. But on the Creator Insiders channel, they made a video talking about how when you schedule videos, when the video goes live at, let's say that you schedule your video for 11 o'clock. Well, at 11 o'clock, there's tons of scheduled content all over the platform that's getting pushed out. And because of that, one, you're creating tons of competition for yourself, but you're also getting kind of caught up in that system. So because of that, they recommend that you actually publish off of those scheduled times. So instead of publishing at 11, maybe you publish at, 10:56 instead, right? And the reason for that is so that you're not getting pushed out, or you're not, that you're not kind of just getting kind of mixed up in the system as all of those scheduled videos go out. Let's see here. So Nick Pick Thrift, thank you for the super chat, says, what would an external hard drive be used for? Resolution for my memory problem with my Wish purchase laptop. Okay. External memory, external hard drives, especially for a laptop, are fantastic for storing data, because like video files, as you know, are ginormous and they take up a lot of space really quickly. And like, you don't want to like on my Dell, I've got, I think, like 4 terabytes of memory, or not memory, but of storage space on that one. So it's not that huge of a deal. On the machine here, my desktop computer, I've got like four terabyte drives, or six or 8. I don't know. I've got tons of space on my desktop that I built, but on my MacBook, I've only got, I think like a terabyte or 2 of space on this. So because of that, if I'm doing any video stuff on here, I move everything off to external hard drives to make sure that this stays as clean as humanly possible. So basically what you use them for is just to clean space off. But I also use them for storage. So a lot of people set up a RAID system, which I'll do eventually, probably once I get into the new place. But basically with the RAID systems, you have, different hard drives in there. So let's say you have 4 hard drives. If one of the hard drives fail, it's not a big deal because you just swap that hard drive out and you put it back in, but it's all being replicated so that you don't ever lose anything. It's just a great way to back stuff up. But what I do is I'll just put stuff on a hard drive and then I'll clone that hard drive. So I have 2 copies of it. So the chances of me losing everything is going to be, you know, relatively low with that content. But here's the funny thing. It's been the very rare case, and off the top of my head, I can't even think of ever when I've done it. Have I ever went back and actually used any of that content? But I'm a hoarder when it comes to content. In my brain, I'm like, hey, I want to save this because I don't know. But that's for the type of content that I make, though. If I was making another type of content, and of course that content, you know, I might be able to, you know, reference that content on a regular basis. So it kind of depends what you're doing. Let's see here. What else do we got? Let's see here. Hey, Nick, I don't have a community tab. Is that something that comes later? Yeah, that's a YouTube feature. And that happens when they give it to you. Off the top of my head, I can't remember the requirements because I know this stuff's getting kind of weird. So it's like, you know, some of the stuff like memberships, for example, it's like you used to have 30,000, but now some people get it at like 1,000, and gamers got it at 1,000 before, but now some random people are getting it at like, you know, 5,000 and 3,000 and 10,000. And, you know, so all the requirements are getting kind of like a gray area now. But, you know, your community tab will come later. Let's see here. Great question, Jared Show. How many people here use a script? Give me a hashtag me if you use a script for your videos. I want to see this come in. Hashtag me if you use a script for your videos. So in terms of, do you need to use a script? No, absolutely not. If you are covering technical content to where you need to make sure that there's technical accuracy, then in that case, I would script out the parts of the video that need to be technically accurate. But outside of that, I'm a huge fan of bullet points. And if you're not familiar with that, all it is just some talking points, just some quick notes like, hey, I'm talking about this, talking about this, talking about this. And the reason for that is because it helps you communicate in a more natural way. So when you are reading scripts and you're looking at a teleprompter, in your brain, you're sitting there and you're reading the teleprompter and your brain is thinking, okay, I'm reading this, and I got to say this. And it's processing all of that. And you're not really communicating in the way that you naturally communicate. And one of the awesome things about YouTube is that you are able to, you know, connect with other people, and the nuances of your personality is actually something that, you know, can be very beneficial for you on YouTube. And when it comes to teleprompters, unless you practice it a lot and you get really good at it, when it comes to teleprompters, it kind of takes away some of the nuances of your personality. But when you use bullet points, then you just say, okay, I'm talking about this, so I'm just going to go for it. And then you just kind of freestyle or through free thought, you just kind of go for it. And then you say whatever it is that you're going to say. And then you glance back at your bullet point and you say, okay, and now I'm going to talk about this. And then you do the next thing. So when it comes to scripts, again, if it's required, then in that situation, use it. If it's technical content or something like that to keep you on track. But if you can get around it, then I would. It saves you time in terms of, you know, the scripting process, and it makes it to where you communicate in a more natural way. Even when you take the option of like reading and reciting, because people will do that with scripts as well. When you're reading and reciting your script, then what that is you're looking over here and you're like, okay, this is what I say. And then you look at the camera and then you say it. And then you look over here and you say it, and okay, then this is what I say next. And you look at the camera and you say it. Well, in that situation, your brain is thinking, okay, this is what I have to say next. This is what I have to say next. And again, you're kind of losing some of that nuance. Some of it comes through, but a lot of it, you know, also gets lost. So because of that, I'm a huge fan of using bullet points compared to scripts, as long as you're comfortable doing it. So I've made some content, and I still do from time to time. I've made some content for a company called Uscreen, and on their channel, you can actually see it. I don't know if you'd be able to notice it or not, but I can definitely tell it's like a night and day difference. But I don't know if you'd be able to notice it or not. But basically, like the content that I do there, because it's for them, it's for their company. So like the script has to be like approved by them and all of that before the content's made, because they have to, like, every word that comes out of my mouth is representing their company. So because of that, they have to clear a script. And you can tell when I'm doing that, because I do a read and recite, and you can tell when I'm doing that content, even though it still comes out good, it's still just kind of like, you know, it just doesn't have the same flow that my normal content has. All right. Let's see here. That one was back at 11. Man, I did not expect that to happen. So I refreshed the screen so I could make sure that I got the most recent chat, and I did it on this one instead of this one, and just completely lost the thing there. Okay. So let's see here. So it's still plugged in. Okay, everything's good. We're still moving. Okay. Had to do a quick tech check there. Okay, says, how do I get people on my live stream Zoom? Says CBD headquarters. So if you're looking to actually have people join your stream, all you have to do is just paste that link somewhere, because basically they have an invite code for Zoom, and all you have to do is just take that code and you can paste it directly into a different, you can paste it into like a Facebook group for the people that you would be inviting on. You could paste it into a messenger group. You can do a email that goes out to everybody, whatever it happens to be, but you basically just send them that link. It's really easy. The guard says that he notices, because he actually edits the Uscreen content and he edits the content on this channel as well. Does an amazing job, by the way, which I have to say that as well, because he's awesome at what he does. But he says that I noticed that he says, so different to edit those than your regular videos. Yeah, it's a different experience. It's different to make them too. You know, like on that side of things, it's like it's different to make them as well, because it's it's just not, it's just not the same. It feels different. Like when I make the content for my channel, like I'll get fired up about it, especially if I do the standing up stuff. By the time I'm done with a standing up video, I'm like fired up. I'm like super pumped. When I'm doing the sitting down stuff, not as much, but when I'm doing the standing up stuff, I'm super pumped when I'm done with those. But like with the Uscreen stuff, like it's good. Like it comes out great, but it's still like, I just don't get that, like that buzz from it that I get from making the normal content. Man, I'm getting high off making content over here. Woo! Talking about buzzes for making content. What is going on in the YouTube world? Woo! Okay, so next question that we have here, excuse me, is from, there we go. Next question is from, is it worth investing in videos like Mr. Beast? Mr. Beast worked his way up to investing in videos. He wasn't always just spending tons of money in order to, to make really awesome videos. He did all kinds of additional things in order to do that. Just spending a lot of money in a video doesn't guarantee a video's performance. The reason that Mr. Beast does well is because he understands YouTube. He understands what makes people watch videos. He understands what gets people to click videos. And he's really good at it. That's why he is awesome. Let's see here. Best advice for someone in their first year of YouTube. Great question. How many people here are in your first year? Give me a hashtag me. So when you are just getting started on YouTube and you're in that first year, some people will do awesome in their first year. Some people, it'll just be like, come on, is this ever going to work type of thing. Other people will be like, hey, this is great. I love making content. I've got 100 people that, come in and watch every video. It's awesome. I love it. So, it kind of depends on your approach in that situation. But one of the things that I recommend that you do, we got some me's in here. That's what I'm talking about. But basically when it's your first year on YouTube, I really recommend that you spend that time just through experimentation. So what I mean by that is you make a lot of content, as much as you can, within reason, of course, because you don't want to go overboard, but basically make a lot of content because you want to get really good at making content. You want to get efficient at it in terms of, hey, this is my process. I do the topic research. Then I figure out the title of the video. Then I make the thumbnail of the video. And then I go and I put the video together. Then I upload the files to here, or not upload the files to here, but then I, import the files into here, and I organize them in this way on my computer so that when I'm editing them, it makes it all faster. So that you can just get, efficient with your process, and you can just get better at what it is that you're doing faster. Because the more videos that you make, the more experience you're going to get, the deeper your understanding, as long as you're paying attention to what's happening on your channel, the deeper your understanding is going to be for the platform and for your audience and for the actual, your side of it, of being a content creator. Great question. Let's see. Oh, this is awesome. So Aaron Maritota, 10th D, not sure what the 10th D stands for, but says that is SEO the main thing to grow on YouTube? No, it's not. So a majority of the traffic on YouTube actually comes from the browse and recommendations, or just recommendations in general. So browse and suggested. So search is kind of like a low-hanging fruit in terms of it's like, it's relatively easy to rank videos in search. So all you have to do is you have to optimize your videos for search, and then you have to make a thumbnail and a title that's somewhat compelling. And then your video has to deliver on whatever it is that somebody was interested in or looking for when they were searching for a certain type of content. So it's just an easier thing to do. So because of that, a lot of new content creators will use search and experience, will use search as a way to, just kind of solidify some traffic or just kind of get those initial views coming in. And the cool thing about it is when you do optimize for search is that if your videos perform well in search, then as soon as YouTube starts identifying they perform well in search, they're going to start showing them, in other places as well in front of the right people that, might also enjoy that content. So just because you're optimizing for search and you're targeting search doesn't mean that your videos aren't going to show up all over the platform. So that's just something to keep in mind. But when it comes to search, a lot of people are looking at search as, like, hey, this is, when I'm optimizing my videos for search, it's just for search. But I want you to think of that in a different way. Instead of optimizing your videos for search, I want you to think of optimizing your videos for discovery. And what I mean for that is, of course, you want to optimize everything so that if somebody's looking for a very specific thing on YouTube, that your video would, likely show up because you're using the right things in your title and description and all that. However, it's really important to make sure that when you're writing your title and you're putting your thumbnail together, that you're also trying to think of, how can I make this as compelling as humanly possible? Because sure, I'm targeting search, but what I really want is I want views. So if somebody comes onto YouTube and my video gets shown to them on the homepage, I also want it to be compelling there. So I don't want it to just be compelling for the people that are looking for, like, how to make a cup of coffee. I'm looking for people to where when they log onto YouTube, they're like, how to, I don't know how you would do that with coffee off the top of my head, but, how to make a, the best coffee you'll ever drink in under 2 minutes. I don't know, something like that. But the idea is to where when it comes on the platform, it's like, as a coffee drinker, you're like, oh, the best coffee ever, huh? Wonder what that's all about. And then you click on that if you're a coffee enthusiast, not just a drinker, but maybe you're somebody that makes coffee, whatever. But the idea is that you just try to be as compelling as possible so that you're optimizing for discovery. So part of optimizing for discovery as well is that you are also, as you're optimizing for discovery, you are also making sure that you are including any keywords that you are that represent your video as well. And the reason for that is because when you include those keywords, you're also giving context to the human beings that are also going to see your video being recommended next to other content, being recommended on a homepage, and when it shows up in search. So you still want to make sure that you're using keywords for the sake of context for YouTube and for the context of people. So if I'm looking for, how to make a great cup of coffee, then in that situation, when you have how to make a great cup of coffee in your title, or you have at least coffee in your title, that's going to grab my attention because I'm looking for information on, how to make a cup of coffee. So you want to make sure that it's clear that that's what your video is about for the people that are interested in that particular topic. Let's see here. So this is interesting. So Blip's Adventures with Isaac and Shora says, put your YouTube name in your tags when posting your videos. That way, when your name is typed in YouTube search, you will always pop up. So once people start reacting to your content, you'll pop up anyway. So your channel itself, if you are, as long as your channel name actually has your channel name there, and as long as you fill out your About Me page and then it's in there and all of that, then your channel's still going to pop up. Your videos will also pop up even if you don't do that. The reason that a lot of people will do that, because I do that sometimes as well. I think I might have even done it in this stream. But basically, the reason that I'll do that is because, like in this particular situation, I have another clips channel that I started to where we basically take the live streams that I do on Saturday, not this live stream. Maybe, I don't know. We might use this. I'm not sure. But basically, the live streams that I do every Saturday, we take those and we take some highlights out. We put them on another channel. So basically, I'm including that so that there might end up being some type of relationship there between the content as well over time. Of course, it's not going to happen immediately, but over time. So that's why I'm doing that with any of the live stuff. Let's see here. Question. Hey, Nick. What's up, X Ducky Plays? Oh, Nikki. Hey, Nikki says, I make videos, but with school going on, I can nearly find the time to upload, and it feels like it's hurting my channel. Any advice on how to keep going with YouTube vids? How to keep uploading YouTube vids? Absolutely. So if you are somebody that's pressed for time, let's say you have a job, let's say you have a family, let's say you have a significant other, let's say you have a social life, let's say that you go to school, all of those things are things that everybody does, with the exception of school, because, of course, you'll finish that eventually. But work is something that everybody does. Even as a full-time content creator, you're still, YouTube is your job in that situation. So even though the days that you're not uploading content, if you really want to thrive, you're also, doing other things around your YouTube channel that will also help drive income and, awareness and all that good stuff also. So you want to make sure that you're also tapping into those specific things, which then in turn turns those things into a job as well. So basically what you have to do in this situation is when you have a certain amount of time that you have to spend on something every single day, then you have to start sacrificing things because you only have so much time in the day. So if you're really wanting to get going on YouTube and you're really wanting to say, hey, I need to make sure I upload a video and I want to make sure I'm consistent because I love YouTube. I want to be a YouTuber. I want to, keep putting out content for my audience. I want to practice this so I can get better at it. Then in that situation, you got to find the time to do it. And I know it sounds easy, but what you want to look for is you want to look for things like, okay, how much time am I spending on Netflix? How much time am I spending on Hulu? How much time am I spending, just kind of hanging out, not doing anything, just kind of like aimlessly, just kind of like chilling around the house? How much time am I spending on TikTok? How much time am I spending watching other YouTube videos, right? And literally over the course of a week, track down, okay, so I just spent 20 minutes on YouTube. From this time to this time, I was on YouTube. Okay, that's cool. Not a big deal. From this time to this time, I was on TikTok. Or you can just use your phone. This amount of time I was on my phone, right? Because that stuff's built in nowadays. So it's like, okay, I spent this amount of time on my phone today. I spent this much time at school. I spent this much time at such and such's house. I spent this much time doing this. Track it out over the course of the week. And you'll see places to where you can be like, you know what? I don't got to do that. I am going to not do that. I'm going to not do that. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to spend all that time working on my YouTube stuff. So, it just depends on how bad you want it in that situation. Like, there's a saying, I'm going to botch it up because I'm not sure exactly how it goes, but it's something along the lines of, if something is important enough to you, you'll find the time to do it. If it's not, then you'll find all the reasons not to do it, or you'll find a reason to do it, not time. I completely botched it, just like I said. Right? There we go. But basically the whole thing is like, if it's important enough, you'll find the time. If it's not important enough or it's not a priority, then it'll end up just being shuffled around with all the other stuff that's not a priority. It's kind of the idea. Let's see here. So next up on our list, we've got The Real Ghost 509 says, hey, Nick, I'm a newly monetized gaming channel that also dabbles in hip hop beats. I'm going to subscribe to your YouTube channel, The Real Ghost, because I do the same. Says, should I separate my content on different channels, or is a multi-niche channel possible? So absolutely, it is possible. However, here's what you want to think about. When somebody, I'll actually leave it up on screen while I'm talking about it. So basically, when somebody comes to your YouTube channel, when somebody comes to your YouTube channel and they subscribe to your gaming content, if you publish a video that is on music, then in that situation, YouTube might show that music video to one of those people that were just interacting on your channel because they just watched 10 gaming videos. And those people aren't interested in music, and therefore they're not going to click on that video. Over time, YouTube will identify that, but initially it'll hurt that performance of that particular video, or it could hurt the performance of that particular video. So what you want to think about in that situation is, instead of like just making like a multi, niche channel, if you can fine tune it to where you say, okay, this channel is going to be a resource for this type of content. It's going to be all gaming content. And then this channel is going to be all about making hip hop beats. Then in that situation, what you do is, for people like me, when I saw this, the only thing that I saw in terms of the topic, and I had to reread it because I didn't see it initially, was I'm newly monetized gaming channel that also dabbles in hip hop beats. Because I'm into hip hop beats and I also dabble as well, I'm like, oh, hip hop. He's a hip hop channel. That's why I said I'm going to subscribe. But now that I know you also do gaming content, I'm probably not going to subscribe to your channel because I'm not interested in the gaming content. So I don't want to see that stuff. I don't want it taken up my homepage. So because of that, other people are the same way in terms of, if your channel's a resource for gaming content, then the people that love gaming content will have a great time on your YouTube channel. If it's all gaming content, the people that are into hip hop and making hip hop beats, they're going to love the channel if it's all about hip hop beats. But if it's about hip hop and gaming, then you're gonna alienate a ton of your audience, because just because somebody's into hip hop beats doesn't mean that they care to watch gaming content. Because I love watching I'll watch like Kyle Beats, for example. I watch him all the time just because I love, seeing like how he puts stuff together and he comes up with some really cool stuff. But if he started doing gaming content, I'd probably unsubscribe. So, just something to think about. So what I would recommend is you split them. So yes, you can have a channel that has gaming and hip hop and like your vlogs and, like some opinion pieces and some advice, on like, how to live a better life. And, you can have channels that do all this stuff. you absolutely can. Some videos will do great, some videos will tank, and it'll just be like a roller coaster. But if you can create your channel as a resource for a certain type of content, for a certain type of viewer, then everything improves because one, it's very clear who it is that you're making your content for, which helps YouTube systems easily identify who that audience is as well. The topical relationships between content become a lot more solid. And you're able to actually position each channel in a way to where it's good for sponsorships and everything. So like the long game, right? If you think of it that way, then it's like, okay, if I have a hip hop channel down the road, every single video that I put out, if you start selling beats or you start selling like, you know, instrumental packs or sound packs or whatever, then every single video that you put out on that hip hop beat channel, you can be like, hey, you know, just as a heads up, you know, I got a new beat pack available down in the description below. Every single video that you put out. And then in that situation, that channel is just a machine, a cash machine for you. And then where if you had the gaming channel and then with the hip hop beats on the same channel, I mean, then what you do in that situation, it's like, okay, this video, yeah, I'm mentioning my sound packs and all that stuff. And I've got a sponsor that, you know, like Propeller Head, you know, with Reason or Cubase or somebody, they're like, you know, hey, let's sponsor this channel or sponsor some videos. That relationship will be 1,000 times better if all of your content is based around the audience that they're trying to reach compared to a segmented audience. So I kind of explained that in like a bunch of different angles. So I hope all of that made sense, but that's kind of the general idea is you want to focus it all because long term, it works out awesomely when you can turn your channel into a resource and quickly as well. So like if you're trying to do like if part of what it is that you're doing on YouTube, you're also wanting to use it as a way to get like extra income, you definitely want to niche down in that situation. Hey, again, I just wanted to bring it to everybody's attention for everybody that's hanging out right now. So VidSummit, they're vidsummit.com. I also have a link to them down in the description. It's not an affiliate link. They did not sponsor this in any way, shape, or form. But VidSummit starts tomorrow, virtual VidSummit. It's called VidSummit Worldwide, and it's a virtual conference. There's 30-something speakers there, and I'm one of them. And with VidSummit, basically, if you are doing anything online related to video or live streaming, you need to go to VidSummit because a lot of amazing information is shared there from a lot of amazing content creators. I know Mr. Beast has a presentation there. Daryl has a presentation there. Daryl Eves. I have a presentation there. Sean and Benji from Video Influencers have presentations there. Brian G. Johnson, Roberto Blake, Tim Schmoyer, you know, all the people that you guys are probably watching right now. Basically, it goes a level deeper. Right? Because on our YouTube channel, and I started talking about this before and I completely went off track. So I'm glad it came back up. So on our YouTube channels, when we're putting out content, one of the things that we have to make sure that we're keeping in mind is that our videos have to perform too, just like yours do. So because of that, the decisions that we have to make around our content typically will lean on like, hey, let's keep this kind of, you know, just more, you know, to where it's going to apply to, you know, most channels and to where, you know, people of like, you know, different channel sizes will get the most out of the information for this particular video so that people will get tons of value from this video so that people will watch it longer, all that good stuff. But when it comes to the deeper stuff, that's the stuff that we share for like conferences and courses and all that good stuff, because that's the stuff that, you know, we can't really put on the channel because those videos don't perform. And we've proven it time and time again by taking steps into that area of, you know, trying to share more complex or just deeper information. But unfortunately, the surface stuff is the stuff that performs the best on the channel. So that's the stuff that we have to keep sharing. And like I mentioned before too, a lot of stuff does come out in live streams, you know, luckily, because, you know, this is more free thought and we get to answer very specific questions in the live streams. But in the conference scenario, like through VidSummit, for example, it's more structured information to where, you know, the presentation starts with like, this is exactly what it is that you're going to learn. And then as you go through the thing, then at the end, there's actual action steps that you can take to, you know, start applying it to what it is that you're doing on your YouTube channel. So anyway, a link to that's down in the description below. So make sure that you check out vidsummit.com if you haven't yet. Let's see here. Thanks, Nick. My channel grew so much, and I can definitely thank you for that. You helped me out on a few things along the way. Joe Kids and his 508 cents. Thank you for the kind words and congratulations on your channel. Let's see here. Let me pull another question here really quick. Okay, it says, I'm 14. What is affiliate marketing? So affiliate marketing is basically to where you recommend products or services. And when people click on those links, you know, like, okay, so a lot of people use Amazon. I'll use that one as an example. So basically you sign up as an Amazon associate, And when you sign up as an Amazon associate, basically you get a link to where you can, or an actual whole login area to where you can go and you can grab links to different things. And you can put links in your video description to recommend different products and all that good stuff from Amazon. So what happens is when somebody clicks on one of those links, there's tracking that takes place. And if somebody goes to Amazon and they buy anything on Amazon within 24 hours, then you get a commission for that. And that's it. Right. But your parents, since you're 14, your parents would actually have to set that up for you. And then there's tons of affiliate programs. Amazon's just one of them. Tons of different affiliate programs across, every industry. So depending on the type of content that you want to make, it's definitely something that you want to look into as an additional way to monetize. Let's see here. Is there any change in my channel name to Jerry Wabwick Guitars? Would that be better if I have mainly guitar and music content? So that's good if you're extremely active on YouTube. If you're not that active on YouTube, then in terms of like commenting and live streams and all that good stuff, if you're not that active on YouTube, then it's not that big of a deal. But if you are very active on YouTube, then in that situation, adding guitars to your channel name can be advantageous because, the people that would be in this live stream right now that would be interested in guitars, if they, play guitar, they're thinking about playing guitar, or, they build guitars, whatever it happens to be, then if they saw that in your channel name, then that person might be like, oh, hey, they make guitars. Let me go look at their channel real quick. And they look at that, and then you might gain like another subscriber. Now, keep in mind, that's like very like, that's like a little advantage, right? So it helps. But, the main wins that you're going to get on your YouTube channel is going to come from the actual video content that you're putting out. But all those little things like that, like with your name, for example, those are just little things that you can do to create additional advantages for yourself and gain, additional, subscribers from any interactions that you do on YouTube. I think I just saw Fly Ride in here. Was Fly Ride in here? It went by already, but Fly Ride, dude, if you're in here, what's up? Hope you're doing great. Yeah, there we go. Says in full replays, Nick. Yeah, you get for Vid Summit. Yeah, you get the replays. You get the actual virtual conference. And to my understanding, and you'll see it on the page, but I think you also get a ticket to the in-person as well. So they're doing the in-person in 2020 because of what's going on in the world. So you'll get the in-person for that as well. So yeah, definitely check that out. Let's see as I keep scrolling down the page. My E-Class and Byte says miss super chat. So let me go in here and look for that really quick. Okay, looks like I missed a couple. So the next one here is from Game Shizzler. Says, as a new channel, I have 10 edited videos. Do I upload them all at once or stretch uploads out over a few days or weeks? Great question. What you want to do, Game Shizzler, is that you want to publish video number one. The next day, publish depending on the performance of that video. If it doesn't get much traction, go ahead and publish another one the next day and make sure that you're linking those two videos together through, playlists, through your end screens, things like that. So people can watch another video. And then the third day, publish another one. And then from there, then figure out what your schedule is. If it's once a week, twice a week, whatever. If it's a Monday and a Friday, Monday and a Wednesday, whatever your upload schedule is going to be, then start consistently publishing from that point forward. And the reason for the quick release of the videos initially is so that you can, so you can have other videos being recommended as you're starting to, market the channel, or as, views are starting to come into each individual video. So they have more of your content to watch as an option. All right. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and head off of here. I thought I was going to have some guests come on, but nobody ended up coming on. So everybody, thank you for hanging out. And again, make sure that you are optimizing for the new YouTube app update, because it's another one of those advantages that you can create for yourself. If you're not familiar with what I mean by that, this video is going to be available for replay. So it's at the very beginning of the stream when I started today. So just check it out on the replay. YouTube made an update to the app, and basically you can even see it right now. If you just tap on somebody's name, I'm not sure if it works in the live streams, but on a video, if you tap on a comment from the mobile app, then you'll see actual channel art show up as well. So you want to make sure that you're optimized for that, because it's another one of those advantages to where if somebody clicks on your name, then they see that, then it's like, this is what I'm offering on the channel. So they know that it's for them, so that they click on the channel, they come over and they, interact with what it is that you're doing. So, so you want to make sure that you do that. Also, make sure that you check out vidsummit.com. You're going to learn so much there. I know VidSummit for me personally was a game changer, just in terms of like the networking with the people that I got to meet, but also the education that I got there. as well every single year that I go. So basically, when I go to Vid Summit in person, I go and, I'm a speaker there. But the thing that I like about it even more is that I get to go and I get to learn from people, other people that are really experienced at this and that also know, what it is that they're doing on the platform and that do really cool things. And it, like I study YouTube and I study, the things that work and don't work and all that good stuff. And I still learn so much when I go there. So, like a lot of you guys, if you're just coming into YouTube or if you've just been going for a little bit, like you're going to learn a ton through the Vid Summit virtual Vid Summit worldwide. So, the link to that's in the description, or you can just go to vidsummit.com. Again, it's not an affiliate link. I'm just telling you this because I know the value that it brought to me and the value that it brings to me every single year. And I know the level of information that's shared there through, all different, creators. I know Mr. Beast, like I said before, has a presentation there. All the YouTube help channels, they present there. People present there on like AI in terms of explaining deeper sides of how YouTube works and all this stuff. It's incredible. So make sure if you are interested in investing in the future of your YouTube channel, make sure that you check it out at vidsummit.com. Again, everybody, thank you so much for hanging out. I hope you have an awesome week. Fingers crossed for the election. Hopefully we'll get the answers on that soon. Everybody have a awesome rest of the week. And I will see you at 9 a.m. Saturday for a normal version of Nimmin Live. Thank you for hanging out. Everybody have an awesome week, and I will see you on Saturday. Awesome rest of your week, and I'll see you on Saturday.